Look, welcome back to the Cherry Time Podcast. It is episode number 9, and I want to thank you all for being here. You know, we've interviewed quite a few people now. You know, we've interviewed Primicon, we've interviewed Relia, we've interviewed my Discord, we've interviewed the developer of Bow Path of the Teal Lotus, we've interviewed CC Mackay, Miles Nugget, Windet, and even Greg, the lead playtester of Hollow Knight. It's honestly really crazy. But today is another crazy one, you know. And when it comes to true Silksong Cope, this is the legend right here. This is the guy that started it all, you know, with the daily Silksong news videos. So, you know, it was an honor talking to him, and you know, we kept it a little bit shorter than the other episodes. So I hope you guys enjoy the shorter episode today. But yeah, without further ado, this is the Aura interview, and hope you all have a good one. Thank you. How have you been feeling lately with all the news we've been getting? I think it's been the most colorful week on Daily Silksong News in like years, right?
Yeah, probably I'd say so. Like I guess the last time you can compare it to would be from the Xbox trailer, because whenever you get news, you get a bunch of stuff like in a row,
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
yeah. So how have you been feeling lately with the news? Like, is it like you think we got to be getting close, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like I think this is the one.
Yeah, I did. I did. I did a recent interview with Greg, and you know, I thought it was interesting that he ended up saying that you know he would trust Nintendo over anybody. So that made me feel really good.
Hmm.
Um.
Is
So
it on a channel? Like,
No, I just did it the other night, so it'll be coming out this week. I got a few coming out this week. I'm trying to get back into it, but
nice, gotcha.
yeah. So when you first started the channel, how long did you think you were gonna be doing this for? Did you have like an idea of how long it might be lasting then? And what is it like now, being
Uh,
4 years later?
so I started at like January 21. I don't know. I thought it would like go for like maybe like a year or maybe 2 years. Like this went way longer than I thought. I thought like maybe like 600 days or something.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
never thought it would go like past 1,000.
Yeah. Did you ever expect the channel to like grow as much as it did?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Like not even half of it. Like half the size that is now.
Yeah. Have there been any collabs that have like really surprised you that have reached out to you? Like there was one that I just was like super happy about that happened which was Point Crow being on the channel, and I just thought that was so cool. And is there anybody that reached out that you're like, "Holy shit, I can't believe they want to do a daily Silksong news?"
That was probably like one of the biggest, like Point Crow. Um, Maybe there were others that I can't like recall right now, but there are definitely like a couple. Like I could check the channel and see like what the most popular and see who like surprised me with this. Um, but like now I'm not sure. Like I guess Foco as well.
Yeah.
So maybe those two would be the biggest ones. Apparently twice.
So, do you have like do you have a plan for what's gonna happen when Silksong does drop? Like, do you plan on doing any like live stream of the game, or like let's play or anything like that?
I mentioned it like in my server, but when Silksong comes out, I'm gonna just end the channel. Like there would be nothing more to upload into it.
Wow,
Um,
end of an era.
Yeah, but I definitely want to, like, I hope I want, like, I'm thinking of like just trying to get people to go to my normal channel or Aura, and maybe I'll do stuff there sometime after Silksong comes out. Like maybe I'll try to like speedrun the game or do something interesting like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, definitely should. I feel like a lot of people are gonna be still needing, still needing that content, even though they don't have the daily news videos.
Yeah, I think my strong point is just being able to run the channel for a long time, like I do,
Yeah.
um, and less so in like creating interesting content.
Yeah. No, I feel that. You definitely found like a cool little lane to hop in and do something amazing with the channel. It's really I really feel like you have like one of the most like iconic channels of the Silk Song era. It's like Silk Song is just so interesting to me how big of a community it has from being not even a game yet, and I think your channel is just the most iconic one out of everything Silk Song's created. So I really
Thank you.
appreciate what you've done, even though it's kind of you found like a niche thing. But so do you think that there's chances of a shadow drop still, or do you think that the next time we see it there will be like a date?
I think they're gonna like give us a date in advance. I really doubt they're gonna shadow drop it.
Yeah,
Like even Hollow Knight, they didn't shadow drop that. They announced it like 2 weeks like ahead.
yeah.
Um,
Do you think it'll be similar to that, or do you think it'd be longer?
like it's possible it'll be 2 weeks again, but I'm thinking it's gonna be longer just because of how excited people are about this, and that Team Cherry have like a bunch of, I guess, contracts with all the game consoles that they need to release Silksong on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so like doing it in 2 weeks might be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, it kind of makes sense for both. Like, I feel like with all the silence, like, a lot of people, could easily think it's going to be a shadow drop, but I think doing like a large roll, because I feel like the rollout's already started now with Switch 2, and they could do like multiple things up until like, Summer Games Fest or whatever that kind of get people hyped, but I don't know, it's just,
Yeah. I also like I need some time to prepare when we know the release date.
yeah, I know I would be so upset if like yeah, I'm just working one day and then it's just out.
Yeah, exactly. Like I need to call in a vacation or something.
Yeah. So with the whole with the whole cake situation, do you believe that that was like a coincidence, or do you think that that was like a real lead to point us to Nintendo Switch 2?
So when it first came out, like when they like people first talked about it and showed it, and like before Lev said it was like nothing, I did believe that. I thought it was like way too many coincidences for it to just
Be
for
nothing.
like yeah, for just a bit for it to be nothing. But then he said it was nothing, so I was like, oh damn. But then again, they just like April 2nd came, and we did get new Silksong info that it's coming this year. And now I'm like kind of confused. Like what? Like was it real? Was it not? Like what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, I know he said he was like, "Oh, that would be a good idea if we did, because someone was like, "Oh, why don't you just put something in there anyway and act like it was a plan?" And he was like, "Oh, that'd be a good idea."
Yeah.
But do you think that like cuz all right,
But
so oh wait, what were you about to say? My bad.
um, no, I was just like gonna like start thinking like in theories like oh maybe it was at the start, but then left. Like I don't know. I was just making up theories of what might be the cause.
Yeah, I do wonder if they did end up trying to get it in there because like okay, maybe we'll just try. Maybe the community gave them the idea for April 2nd.
Yeah, and I assume like by that time they like Team Cherry probably had some idea of putting Silksong in a direct because it was a pretty big direct.
Yeah. Yeah, Nintendo had to
And
have approached that one differently than normal directs.
yeah, I would like to assume so.
So, all right, so you don't my next question was going to be, do you think that there like may be anything we're missing in recent William tweets? Because there's the dumb Steam page thing where people are saying like, "Oh, it's put in between these two April 29th dates." And then now people have connected the donut tweet to April 29th as well. Have you seen that?
The donut tweet? Like I
Yeah.
saw the donut tweet, but how did they connect it to April
Apparently
29th?
apparently there's a magazine called Go Nuts. And that's, the tweet was like, yesterday's donuts make my dog go nuts. and and so they found a magazine called Go Nuts magazine, and it was the first date that the magazine ever got published on was April 29th.
Nah, like nah, I don't think so because if Silksong gets a release date, which like it will, but the release date will have to be after the Switch 2.
You think so?
Yeah, because they're gonna have to ask their backers like which console they want it on.
Yeah, but
So
I feel like with the
like the Switch
Switch
will have to be one of the options.
I feel like with the Switch 2 like being such a new console that like that was never an option for the Kickstarter, so I don't assume that being like a new one. I think that they could just offer it on all the other consoles with the Kickstarter. And someone brought up, the Switch 2 footage in a way that, I mean it's easy to I'm with you. I think, June is our next like, chance at it. I think that makes sense, but I was really questioning June just because of all the games that are coming out that month. And even Elden Ring, Night Rain coming right before it. And someone brought up the fact that, in one of my comments, they brought up the fact that them labeling the Switch footage as 2025 could be a way like, all right, if they gave a date that was before the Switch 2 came out, it wouldn't make sense at all. Like if they had a date before then, they couldn't have put it in there and gave a date beforehand. It just would have been a little bit confusing, I think. Um, and that kind of just made me think like, oh wow, like maybe that is still a possibility. Like it's very far fetched, I'd admit, but it kind of makes sense of why they could have only put a year in there, especially if this leaker is true, saying it's gonna be by the end of June. But I don't know. That's just I've just been thinking about that. It is confusing to me that they put 2025 and that was all we got. But I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, but I guess I wanted to have maybe like a bit more leeway with a release date, but I do think it has to be after a Switch 2 because they did like say again in the Kickstarter comment that they will be reaching out to the Hollow Knight backers to ask them which console they want to get their copy of Silksong on.
Yeah. So when did you start playing Hollow Knight? I feel like a lot of people on my channel and stuff like kind of got into it. I feel like in 2021, 2022, and I'm realizing how like how many people were kind of like you know I don't know, I guess like after COVID and stuff, learning about the game, and I just have been kind of trying to figure out like when everybody first started getting into it.
Yeah. So I got to it before COVID. I unfortunately don't remember like what got me into Hollow Knight or like what made me like find out about the game and like and stuff. But the first time I played it was like before Godmaster was released, so it was like
Okay.
middle of 2018, something like that. And I got into it like really fast, or like really strongly. I started loving the game like really quickly, and I started watching a lot of videos of like Mossbag, um, and other stuff, and that's kind of how we got into it. It kind of sucked me in.
So you didn't have like a pick it up and quit it at Forgotten Crossroads like a lot of people did.
No, not for me.
Yeah.
Um, like I remember, like already in 2019, I bought the collector's edition when they announced it.
So what do you have do you have like any favorite moments from the game? Like do you remember when the like I guess the game like officially hooked you? Was it like a certain boss fight or like, getting to City of Tears or anything like that? I feel like everyone's got like different moments that they fully like fell in love with it during.
Um, I guess like one of the most like special moments, I guess, were like it's kind of similar to what everyone like felt as well. Like the Mantis Lord's fight, coming to the City of Tears, um, and like seeing Nosk, those were pretty special and crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget about Nosk a lot.
Hmm.
What other games are you into besides Hollow Knight?
Just in general,
Yeah. I guess or indie focused.
uh, yeah, I guess I really like Ultra Kill.
Ultra Kill.
And I also like Toho a lot.
Okay, I
I
never heard of
listen
that one.
to the music, and I like the characters. Um, that plus like a couple other small indie games and studios that I'm following, like the developers of Webbed. They're making their new game called Isopod,
Mm.
which seems really interesting. And I played the demo; it's very fun.
All right, so I remember I remember a while ago there being a Reddit post and it was quickly debunked. And it was a it was a lady who said I think it was a lady, sorry if it wasn't, but I think it was a person who said that they were a voice actor and they were friends with Ari. And and in their post they had said that Daily Silksong News was a voice actor. And I remember waiting for your video that day for like it was like I was just anticipating the video all day and you quickly debunked it and and everyone is like, "Oh no, this post is not true." And it just really got me thinking that like I said before, I think you're one of the most like iconic, I think voices in the Silk Song community. And it got me thinking like, wow, if Team Cherry did have you as a voice actor, I think that the community would blow up when we play Silk Song. It would be such an amazing thing. And so I just wanted to ask you, is there like a character that you know about that you would like to voice if you had the opportunity, or like a certain type of character in the game? Have you ever thought about like, especially when that was happening, did you ever think about like, oh, who would I like to voice if that was the opportunity?
Um, so I never like thought about that specifically, like who I would like to voice. But I did imagine that voicing any character from the game would be really cool. Like
Yeah.
maybe that like that Moss, like uh, witch priest, the one with the cauldron in the first trailer.
Mm.
Um, Even though they already had a voice, so that's not very possible.
Yeah.
Um, and like I think that's it. Like I don't really have any ideas because almost every bug from the game that we've seen, it came with a voice. They showed
Yeah.
us like the voice that it has.
Yeah, so I guess if there was like, I was gonna say, is there many? I was gonna say there may not be many NPCs that we like know will be a thing that we don't know the character of. I mean, we know that there's gonna be the map maker or the map the new map person that we have to fight, and we know some of the other
Yeah.
NPCs, but I'm just trying to think of who would be a good voice that you would play. I'm not sure, but
Hmm.
I'm
The
really
map
hoping.
NPC is Shakra. She's a girl, I'm pretty sure.
You said what?
The map NPC is Shakra, and I'm pretty sure she's a girl.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would fit me very well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about different characters we might know about, but there's probably going to be so many NPCs that we're just not even aware of yet in the game.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So has there ever been like a moment in this that you felt like has broken you as a Silksong like fan? Like has this ever gotten like stressful where you're like, "Oh god, like I just can't keep doing this no news thing."
Um, you're asking us like as in doing the channel and stuff.
Yeah, I guess just like as a Silksong fan, like I feel like people go through their different stages of being doubters and believers, and I feel like as people who don't do content on it, and like even me who like somewhat does content, but like sometimes I just have to take a break and try to forget about Silksong, and I guess I just think about you, and I'm like, wow, he doesn't really get a chance to forget about it at all. Like he just has to be on it every day.
I mean, even though I was on it every day, it was definitely possible to like forget about it because I'm just repeating myself every day.
Yeah,
So that's kind of how I did it. Um, yeah, honestly, it it was like sometimes hard because there were times where I wanted like change some stuff up and not repeat the same videos over and over again, which never really happened. So I just kept, like everyone else, I just kept doing the same videos all the time. Um, yeah, but no, I guess the only time that was like very close to that was when they announced the delay, because I thought I was starting to see the end in sight, but then no, they delayed it.
So was that like the most similar time to now? Was that the last June Xbox announcement? Was that whole year after that just feeling like probably where we're at right now? Like, oh, we're almost there.
I think so. Yeah, I think like Q3, somewhere around that time is the most likely time to release Silksong. Um, we also know that Left thinks it's a much better idea to release games on the first half of the year because the second half is filled with like AAA games,
Yeah.
which are much harder to compete with. Um, and it might be a good idea to release Silksong sometime next to the Switch too, because of marketing, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
And June, June it's always the month.
yeah. Yeah, I was always thinking the Switch 2 would be a good time for it cuz I remember when the Switch 1 came out, there was like probably only about 20 so, games on the eShop for like the first month. And a lot of those games ended up just selling millions just because they were the only things there. But then I realized that the Switch 2 is going to be like, it's going to have the entire Switch 1 eShop on it. So it's going to be a little bit differently or a little different than the initial release of it, but
Yeah.
I think that regardless, yeah, like the Switch 2 is going to add a lot of hype to it and it should. I'm just still confused. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out.
With the Switch 2, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
June is stacked.
I don't remember like what other games are coming at that time.
I mean, I feel like Mario. All right, so I guess another question is, do you think that Silk Song like has to compete with some of these triple games now? Because I feel like Silk Song has gotten to a point that it is the triple A of indies. You know, there's something about it that the when the Nintendo 2 Direct happened, they started tweeting off all those games, right, that they announced. And the Switch, this or the Nintendo of Europe account, when they tweeted Silk Song, that got about 220,000 likes, and
Yeah,
Duskblood's got about 10,000. Mario Kart World, got about 5,000. There was nothing that cracked 15 to 20,000 likes that day. And I just thought it was insane. And so do you think that Silk Song does have to compete with some of these bigger games, or like has to worry about them? Cuz I think that it might stand.
like yeah, maybe. I guess no matter when you release Silk Song, you'll have to compete with something.
Yeah.
Um,
I just feel like some of these other companies might be more worried about Silk Song than they would be about them.
yeah, so it's kind of like a choose your poison, like when you want to release a Silk Song.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was looking at the dates of stuff that comes out. Like there's Doom: The Dark Ages, which is May 15th. And I was like, I don't think Silk Song would have to worry about Doom per se. Like I think that they could compete with that one and ultimately do good. But Elden Ring is the one that stumps me. Like I'm like I don't think they want to compete with Elden Ring at all.
Yeah, probably not.
But besides that, I'm like after that you got Mario Kart, you got Donkey Kong Bonanza. What else is June releases? I just think that whole Switch 2 lineup is gonna start.
Also, Silk Song is really like different from most other games in terms of like genre.
Yeah. I say you got Death
It's like a
Stranding.
Metroidvania. Like how many Metroidvanias are even like gonna come out?
Yeah. You got Death Stranding as well in June.
Yeah,
Tamagotchi Plaza. Besides that, it is just a lot of June 5th stuff.
I guess like Death Stranding would be like wouldn't have to worry about it too hard. I imagine.
Yeah. Do you think that leaker is correct in saying that's going to be out before June ends?
Uh, I kind of doubt it.
Kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
But you think before the game world?
Is that which one is that?
The exhibit at the ACMI. I think that's what September.
Oh, yeah, it's possible. I think it can happen.
Do you think that that this is the end of Hollow Knight when it comes to Silk Song? Like, or do you think that there will be anything possibly in the future, or do you think Team Cherry is just going to move on and make a separate game in the future?
I can see them like after Silk Song, maybe they'll release like some content update with some new stuff. But after that, I think they'll move on to something different at least for a while. There was Fearless Fox that we saw copyrights of. Um, so they might be doing that. They talked about like they're interested to do like a top-down game, like similar to A Link to the Past.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always
Uh,
wondered about Fearless Fox, Because I believe that all got talked about like before Tunic, and I always wondered if Tunic ever like might have halted the plans of that. Did you ever play Tunic?
Yeah, but I never finished it, and I've been wanting to.
It's one of my favorites. That's a great one.
Yeah, I did really like it though.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm wondering. I wonder where their head's gonna be at for the next one. Because I wonder if just people are gonna like expect anything from Lace. You know, because Lace kind of seems like the Hornet of this game, and it's always just made me
Yeah,
wonder like, oh, is are they gonna try to explore Lace in the future? But I don't know.
yeah, I would like to see more of her and whatever else Team Cherry is making because, like, I can always bet that it'll be good.
Yeah.
Like, she's not even like Silson's not out, and people already like really like her as she is.
All right. Are you currently playing anything right now? Anything you've been interested in lately?
Um, Nothing new. Like, I've been hopping between a bunch of games with some friends, like Repo or Minecraft.
Okay. You see the Minecraft
Um,
movie?
I saw the pre-release version, the uncut version.
Oh wow. I've been seeing clips of that.
Yeah, and yeah, it was kind of interesting to see with friends. Kind of funny. And that's it basically.
All right, and then I guess this will be my final question. I know I've kind of almost alluded to that a few times now, but do you have a final prediction for when you think, or not a final, but a recent prediction of when you think we're gonna see Silk Song? Think it's June or
Yeah, I'd say June.
June. All right,
hmm
you guys heard it here.
June or like August.
Yeah.
There's no like specific reason for me to choose August. It just like feels right to me for some reason.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and doing this today. I'm sorry it took so long to lock this down.
No, 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 no. It's okay. It's all good.
But I appreciate your time, and maybe if you'd be interested, I'd like to speak with I'm asking people if they'd like to maybe do another conversation after Silk Song. I kind of want to talk to a bunch of people after Silk Song comes out and see how they feel, and how they experienced it, and how much it lived up to their hype and stuff like that. So if you're interested in coming back, I'd love to have you.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Interesting to see
much.
how far we've gotten.
What's that?
Be It'd be interesting to see how like far we've gotten.
Yeah. I know. Who knows? Watch it be in like 2 years too.
Oh my God.
What would you do if
Nah,
there's
this is
another
okay.
delay?
That's okay. I I don't know. I would cry.
Oh man. All right. Well, thank you so much, R. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
All righty. You have a good day.
You too. Have a good night.
All right. See ya.
See ya. See ya.